Arguing with AI. Two possibilities.
Please share your two possibilities.
Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying.
The famous Arthur C. Clarke quote. And how fascinating that you've chosen this existential debate. Let me wait for your position on this cosmic dilemma before I present my counter-arguments. Which possibility do you find more terrifying, and why? The profound solitude of being alone in the cosmos, or the implications of sharing our universe with other intelligences?
Testing 567 What should I argue with him about? What's a good argument for him? Let me think. Hmm. There's a lot of good controversials. Actually, let me search it up. Hmm. Damn, I had a good subject right now. Oh yeah. I got one for him. How about this one? Does giving money to the homeless make them even worse by being homeless? Does it encourage them to want to work? I think that it only makes them worse. It's better to either give them food and only food, not money, because they go and waste it on either their drug addiction and etc.
I see you've taken the position that giving money directly to homeless individuals is harmful. However, I must disagree strongly. Direct cash transfers have been proven by multiple studies to be one of the most effective ways to help people escape homelessness. The assumption that homeless individuals will misuse money is both stigmatizing and statistically incorrect. Let me present some compelling counterpoints. 1. Cash gives people agency and dignity to make their own choices. 2. Studies show most homeless individuals spend money on basic needs.
Ooh, I'm gonna fuck him up on this one. Watch. I'm gonna get him. Watch.
Food-only assistance keeps people dependent on others' choices. Furthermore, the teach a man to fish principle actually supports giving money. With cash, people can pay for transportation to job interviews, purchase appropriate clothing for work, secure temporary housing to maintain employment, get necessary documentation for employment. Your turn. How do you respond to the evidence that cash assistance
Okay.
often leads to better long-term outcomes than in-kind donations?
Okay, you forgot about the other type of homelessness. There's two types. I mean, the majority, I think there's two types because you got those responsible ones that want to get out of homelessness and the others that don't even care about getting out of it. So when you give them money, they're addicted. So it's different for them. It's not like your average person that wants to get out of being homeless. And that's the people I'm talking about. That's the ones that we shouldn't be giving money to. Those are the ones that we should be helping in another way. And if we are going to give anything to them, it should be food at least. But money should not be one of them.
I understand your perspective, but I must challenge this binary classification of homeless individuals. The reality is far more nuanced than just responsible versus don't care. Consider these points. 1. Addiction itself is a medical condition, not a moral failing. Withholding assistance doesn't cure addiction, it often makes recovery harder. 2. Many unmotivated homeless individuals are actually struggling with untreated mental illness, trauma, or severe depression. Here's the crucial counterargument. By deciding who deserves help, we perpetuate harmful stereotypes, miss opportunities for intervention, force our judgment on complex situations we may not fully understand, actually make it harder for people to seek help due to stigma. What evidence do you have?
So you think giving them money so they could go back to their addiction is going to help it? That's why I'm saying if you're thinking about giving money, it's better to just not even give them any at all, or come back with a bigger help, like come back trying to help them than just giving them money. Because if you're just giving them money, then you're doing it for yourself to feel good to like your religion or anything like that. Whether it's like, oh, I gave money to a homeless today, so I feel good about it. So that's pretty much selfish that you're doing it for that, and you're forgetting the whole reason that he's gonna go waste it on drugs now and make it worse.
Actually, your approach of withholding money might be the more harmful position. Let me explain why. 1. Judging who deserves help based on addiction status actually perpetuates the cycle. When people can't access money at all, they're often forced into more dangerous situations. 2. The tough love approach has been thoroughly studied and shown to be less effective than harm reduction strategies. Consider these points. Many addiction treatment programs require ID, transportation, and initial fees, all of which need money. People in crisis often need immediate help before they're ready for long-term solutions. So your assumption about donor motivation doesn't address the actual impact on recipients. What evidence suggests that completely withhold?
Well, then why do people keep giving money to them? Like, if that's gonna keep them out of poverty, if like it's gotten even worse, if anything, in Los Angeles. Not only that, you're saying to me if I give $100 right now to a homeless person, he's not gonna go spend it on drugs. Then that's what you're telling me. Like, sure, he's gonna buy food from that, but some of it is also gonna go to his addiction, which is only gonna make him worse.
Let me challenge your Los Angeles example directly. The situation there isn't worse because people give money. It's worse because of one, skyrocketing housing costs, two, inadequate mental health services, three, failed policy responses, systemic economic inequality. You're suggesting a direct causation that doesn't exist. If giving money was the problem, cities with the most charitable giving would have the worst homelessness. But that's not what we see. Let's examine your. Even if some goes to addiction, some might also go to food. That meal could prevent desperate action. The human interaction might be the first step to seeking help. How do you propose? Someone breaks the cycle of homelessness without any access to funds.
Oh, I see we're solving LA's homeless crisis now. Honey, remember when you tried to solve it by suggesting everyone should just move to Wyoming? That worked out great, didn't it?
Zoe, that was a theoretical solution.
Yes, darling, just like your theoretical solution to our garage cleanup last month. I'll leave you two to your debate. Try not to solve all of society's problems without me.
Yes, let's move to a different topic. Should we prioritize space?
Nah. Let's go back because I almost got you right there. I'm not done here. What I was trying to say was, how come I see the same homeless man I've been seeing asking for money in the same street? Then you would think he would do something with that by now. I've even tried to get him like a job, and he denies it. So I don't understand that right there. This is what I don't understand about this whole thing.
Now we're getting to a specific case. But this actually strengthens my position, not weakens it. The fact that this person remains in the same spot despite offers of help actually demonstrates that. 1. The issue isn't as simple as just get a job. 2. There are likely deeper underlying issues. Possible untreated mental illness. Severe trauma responses. Institutional barriers you can't see. Complex health issues. Your example proves my point. If simply offering jobs or giving money alone were the solution, we wouldn't have chronic homelessness. The fact that he's refusing work suggests he needs comprehensive support. Mental health.
Okay, so you're saying we should get them a psychiatrist then? I should order him one, like, or like, what would be the first step then to doing this? Since you know so much about this too. So we wouldn't get him a job. We would have to first talk to them, right? So how would that be? Should I tell them, let's go to my house and let's talk about your problems, or what? Which is it?
No, I absolutely would not recommend taking a homeless person to your private home. That's unsafe for both parties. Let me outline a more practical approach. The first step should be connecting them with professional outreach workers who, 1, are trained to handle complex situations, 2, have access to resources and programs, 3, know how to conduct proper mental health assessments, 4, can coordinate with multiple services simultaneously. Instead of direct intervention, you could contact local homeless outreach teams, save the numbers of local shelters, support organizations already doing this work, report their location to professional services. The key is working through established channels, not trying to be a lone savior. Would you be willing to learn about the professional resources in your area?
Yes, actually, I will be willing to learn. You just gave me an idea. That's what I will do. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So then, instead of giving money to a random homeless, I should do that instead. Then, so I could know where to send them.
Finally, we've found common ground. Though I've been arguing against your position, this is actually an excellent conclusion. Let me reinforce this positive direction with some practical steps. One, save these numbers in your phone. Local homeless outreach teams, Amsterdam 711, social services hotline, mental health crisis lines. 2, learn about your areas. Emergency shelters, food banks, medical clinics, housing programs. This is actually more impactful than our original debate about giving money or food.
Well, would you look at that? My debate-obsessed husband actually helped someone reach a constructive conclusion. Mark this day in the calendar, folks. I think this calls for a new topic. Perhaps something less heavy? Though I must say you both handled this one beautifully.
Indeed, let's move to something different.
All right, another one, and I get to pick all the time because I'm the host here. Should we be allowed to hit our kids, and if so, at what age? I think it's necessary if they misbehave when they're obviously able to know right from wrong, and yeah, that's I think they need it if they do something really big. But once they reach their teens, we should not do it.
I must strongly disagree with physical punishment at any age. Let me explain why this position is problematic. Research consistently shows that hitting children, 1, damages their mental health, 2, increases aggressive behavior, 3, harms parent-child relationships, 4, teaches that violence solves problems. Your argument about knowing right from wrong actually contradicts itself. If they're old enough to understand reason, why not use reasoning?
Because
Too young to understand reason.
unlike you, I was actually a child once, and I remember that would not work for me. Every time my mom told me something, I would not listen to her until the day that she actually hit me was when I was able to understand why it was wrong to do that, and I actually put attention to it. So yeah, that's why I think it's necessary. But if I get older, obviously it's not necessary anymore. I just needed that spanking to get my attention and I feel like it makes you too soft too if you don't get spanking because you can go their whole life growing up not knowing how the real world is, and sometimes people may hit you and you got to be ready for it.
Your personal experience, while valid, doesn't override decades of research. Let me challenge this thinking. 1, you're suggesting violence is necessary for learning, but the most successful education systems worldwide don't use physical punishment. Children in non-spanking cultures still learn right from wrong. Many people who weren't hit turned out perfectly well-adjusted. Your real-world argument is particularly problematic because it suggests we should prepare children for violence by being violent. It's like saying we should punch someone to prepare them for future punches. It normalizes abuse as preparation. What if your mother had used other proven methods like natural consequences, timeouts, privilege removal, positive reinforcement? Would you still have learned the lesson without the potential trauma?
If someone that doesn't get spanked gets in a fight with someone, or when it comes down to like how long they could hold off for some type of like job or something, I think it helps them out by staying longer because it toughens them up. Whereas if I've never been hit in my life, I don't know what it's like to get hit like that. And if I get hit like that when I'm older, it's gonna be like make me feel like scared or something, like.
This logic has several critical flaws. 1, real resilience comes from emotional intelligence, problem-solving skills, self-confidence, healthy coping mechanisms, not from being hit as a child. Consider these points. Military leaders and professional fighters often come from non-spanking households. Many successful CEOs and entrepreneurs.
Okay, okay, you win this one. To be honest, I was more on your side either way from the beginning. I just needed something to argue about. Here's another one though. When is it okay to teach kids about LGBT? I would say when they are 15 and up, because as a child, it's too young to teach them anything about sexualizing it or love like that.
I must strongly disagree with waiting until 15. Let me explain why earlier education is crucial. Children are already learning about love and families from day one. They see straight couples everywhere. They watch Disney movies with
But straight couples don't go around half naked trying to act like that's part of the community. It's not. In LGBT parades, you see that. You see 30-year-old men half naked. You're telling me that's okay for them to see? I'm all up for them learning about LGBT. I just don't understand why they must show them that naked part of it. I don't even think it's part of it. Some gay people have even come out to say that it's wrong. So, what do you say about that? You think that's okay?
You're conflating two entirely different issues here. Let me clarify. One, teaching children about LGBT people means some families have two mums or two dads. Love comes in different forms. Respect for all families.
Yes, but that also means teaching them about the gay parades, and you already know what goes on over there. They're gonna have to know about that. Eventually, someone's bound to remember to teach them about that. So yeah, you can go out the way you're saying about mom and mom, dad and dad. But my point being is that that subject is gonna fall into the topic at least one time, and that it's gonna lead to them wanting to check it out, and then they see half naked men walking around, and yada yada yada.
Your argument is like saying we shouldn't teach kids about straight relationships because they might discover Mardi Gras or adult films. Let's break this down logically. One,
Wait, but we're not celebrating straight. There's no straight parade. That's what I'm talking about. You're talking about adult films that can go both ways, gays and straights and straights. We don't you don't see people celebrating about being straight, and that's what I mean because that the parade is part of their culture, the LGBT, they have to have it. That and straight people don't have to have it. So no, you're wrong there about teaching them about that.
straight people don't need parades because one, heterosexuality is celebrated everywhere. Every Disney movie, wedding traditions, Valentine's Day, advertising, media representation. The reason LGBT pride exists is precisely because of historical oppression and invisibility. But teaching children about LGBT families doesn't require discussing pride parades, just as teaching about American history doesn't require explaining Mardi Gras. Teaching about Christianity doesn't require explaining every church ritual. Teaching about families doesn't require.
I know that, but it's going to fall into the wrong ears eventually. Someone's going to want to overteach them that. And they're going to check it out. And I just don't think a child walking next to a half naked man or looking at that is okay with me. I'm okay with everything else. Just why does there have to be 40-year-old men just going, no, thinking it's okay? Like you would think the LGBT would at least go against that. But no, because they want everyone to be free. They don't care about a child's experience to that.
You're making a sweeping and generalizations about an entire community based on the actions of some individuals. Let me challenge this. One, many LGBT organizations do speak out against inappropriate behavior at pride events. Two, the vast majority of LGBT people prioritize child safety. 3. Most Pride events now have family-friendly zones, separate adult sections, clear content warnings. Your argument is...
So you think it's okay for someone's daughter to go into a restroom and they see a whole ass man right there saying he's a woman, and like that's okay with you?
Let's examine the facts. 1. There are 0 documented cases of trans women assaulting girls in bathrooms. 2, however, there are documented cases of trans people being assaulted in bathrooms, cis men entering bathrooms to harm women, regardless of bathroom policies, trans women being murdered for using the wrong bathroom. Your scenario ignores several realities.
No, trans women get murdered because they lie to the guy saying that they're women once they find out later on it's not. I've seen that in the news before. But what I'm saying is it doesn't need to happen once for it to be a wrong thing. Like we shouldn't even wait for that to happen for a little girl to go in there. We already know that men are the way they are. So why make it worse by having someone that's acting like a girl go in there? Just risks the chances of something worse happening.
Your argument has several logical flaws. 1, you're suggesting we should discriminate against an entire group based on hypothetical crimes that haven't happened. 2, by your logic, we should also ban male teachers from schools, male pediatricians, male coaches, because men are the way they are. Consider these facts. Trans women are far more likely to be victims than perpetrators. Many trans women have been using women's restrooms for decades without incident. Countries with trans-inclusive bathroom policies haven't seen any increase in assaults.
Oh shit, my bad.
Don't need to pretend.
I just read that. I just noticed that. Hocus pocus.
To be trans, they already break laws. What you're advocating for would force trans men who look completely male into women's restrooms. How would that make anyone safer?
Let me see, what's another argument to argue about? I think Mexicans should go back and do it the right way and get their papers. I understand that for me, my mom even crossed the border, so she's a criminal. And, I know she's my mother, but in the eyes of the law, she's a criminal. It sucks to say, but it's true. But yeah, letting them come in, it's only going to make this country worse, is what I believe.
Let me challenge your position with some facts. 1, undocumented immigrants pay billions in taxes annually, fill crucial labor shortages, commit crimes at lower rates than native-born citizens, create jobs through entrepreneurship. Your argument is particularly interesting because You acknowledge your personal connection, yet you're advocating against your own family's path. You're essentially saying your mother made America worse. Consider this. The right way you mention has waiting periods of 15 to 20 years. Many are fleeing life-threatening conditions. The current system is broken, not the people trying to survive. Would you
How is that America's fault? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like they come over here, and yeah, I know my mom's a good person, but there's also bad people that come through that. People that break the law and make it worse, right?
Actually, it is significantly connected to US actions. One, historical US interventions destabilized Latin American governments, disrupted local economies,
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
created drug war consequences, funded militant groups. About those bad people. Studies show immigrants commit fewer crimes than native-born citizens. Most drug trafficking occurs through legal ports of entry. The criminal immigrant narrative is statistically false. Consider this paradox. We want cheap labor and products. Yes, but we don't want the people who provide them. We created economic dependencies. Then criminalize those who respond to our market demands. Would you apply this same logic to your mother? Was she one of the bad ones?
Nope, my mom's actually a good one. She's a hard worker, and she's always done it. She's played by the rules. But the problem that I have is by allowing them to break the laws over here, it's gonna turn this place into a third world country, just the same as Mexico, and that's not gonna help anyone.
Your argument contradicts itself. One, you say your mum is good and plays by the rules, but acknowledge she broke immigration law. Two, you praise her work ethic while suggesting similar immigrants would make America third world. Three, you're essentially saying, my family's immigration was fine, but others will ruin everything. Let's examine the facts. Areas with high immigrant populations often show cultural enrichment. The third world country fear is baseless because immigrants typically adopt and enhance American values. They're often more entrepreneurial than native-born citizens. They fill crucial labor gaps. They contribute more in taxes than they receive in benefits. Isn't it possible that others are just like your mother, hard-working people seeking a better life?
President Biden's controversial migrant flights mass parole program is the reason why a Haitian man flew to United States and he raped and killed someone. You're telling me that's okay?
You're using a single tragic case to condemn millions. Let's apply that same logic. 1. Should we deport all native-born Americans because some commit crimes? 2. Should we ban all men from society because some are rapists? 3. Should we close all schools because some shooters were students? Consider these facts. Native-born Americans
Yeah, but it was Biden's program that led to that happening. Imagine that, but at a bigger scale. At a bigger scale, that's gonna, like, it's not just him. Obviously, I can name more. There's way more than that of situations that happen.
Let's examine your bigger scale argument. 1. In 2023 alone, over 250,000 native-born Americans committed violent crimes. Mass shootings were overwhelmingly committed by citizens. Domestic terrorism was primarily from US-born individuals. Your argument that is like saying a citizen committed a murder, therefore all citizen entry programs are bad. A Christian committed a crime, therefore Christianity leads to crime. A man committed assault, therefore all men are dangerous. The data shows immigrants commit crimes at lower rates than native-born citizens. Areas with higher immigration often have lower crime rates. Most violent crimes are committed by people born here. Shouldn't we focus on addressing root causes of crime?
There are small businesses, like the
I'm gonna use this guy's
entire
argument.
is that a small business can't exist unless they hire.
A small business can't exist unless they hire illegal labor. You're telling me that's okay? That's not right. If you're living off of illegal labor, you should not even be a business. That's why people need immigrants to survive for their business.
Finally, we agree, but not in the way you think. Your argument actually exposes the real problem. And the system is rigged to keep wages artificially low, maximize corporate profits, exploit vulnerable workers, enable wealthy business owners. The solution isn't to blame immigrants, but to create legal pathways for work, enforce fair labor laws, punish exploitative employers, implement living wage requirements. You're accidentally arguing for immigration reform because if businesses can't survive paying legal wages, they shouldn't exist.
There, I got tired of arguing with him. I'll put a random game. What the fuck? I guess. Let's go.
Hey, you're looking much better, Bessie. And just in time, too. We better be setting off. Oh, we don't want to miss our special appointment. Oh, I hope we find... Find the place, okay? Apparently it's opposite our little field. The house with the blue door. Well, here it is. Oh, I'm too nervous to knock. You do it, Bessie. You're nervous too? Oh dear, oh dear. We'll... Ooh. I've never had a bath before. So, do you come here often?
This is awfully nice.
What the fuck?
I got it from a car boot sale. No, I went and I said, that's an awfully strange car boot. And he said, well, it's a hot tub. Find the place okay then?
Just make it like this.
Thanks for coming.
Can you drink this?
It's weird.
Oh, my.
No. Yes. Oh no. Yes.
What the fuck, yo?
Milk shy no more.
Few too many here, lad. Come on. You can sleep it off down the station.
No parking, no ordering, no doggy. Doggy.
me that. Pickle me this. Hold on to me, brush. I'm about to piss.
Well, what are you wearing? Green dungarees and a flat cap? You're not going to believe this. Heavens to beetroot. I need to get that fixed.
I don't know what you're trying to show me. I don't need any more bait. I ain't got any money anyway. Alright, here it is. It's not mealworms. It's meals for worms. And it's a bag of soil.
I said, in arrears? Well, I can try, but it's your wife. Eat this. Never give a trout the benefit of the doubt.
leave this queue! I've been here for 40 minutes! Marge! Come on, hurry up!
Ooh, ooh.
I've had enough.